All right, so today we're really diving deep into sports journalism with this fascinating guy, Ben Arthur.
Yeah.
He's doing some really cool stuff. He's a journalist
Right.
for Fox Sports. He's young, he's successful,
Yeah.
but he's also got this whole thing going on, Pinnacle Code, his own media company.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about Ben's story is it's so much more than just sports.
Right.
You know, his experience as a second-generation Ghanaian American just adds this whole other layer of complexity and richness to, like, his perspective on identity, ambition.
Yeah.
You know, carving out your own path. It's really cool.
Yeah, and you pick up on that, like, hustle and heart throughout the whole interview, like how his identity has shaped his work ethic.
Absolutely.
So for anyone just tuning in, Ben grew up right outside Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
But his parents were both born and raised in Ghana.
Interesting.
So I'm curious, like, what were your initial takeaways from his early life, you know, those early experiences?
Well, he talks about this identity dilemma that he faced growing up. And, you know, imagine feeling like you're caught between two cultures.
Yeah.
Ghanaian culture at home.
Right.
And then just American culture like everywhere else.
Exactly.
And he didn't grow up watching, like, all the classic Black American movies that so many people connect with.
Right.
And he even talks about how that led some people to question his Blackness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's such a powerful example of how someone's cultural background can be so much deeper than what we see on the surface.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to add to that, like, his family lived in a predominantly white suburb.
Right.
And he went to schools where there were very few Black students.
Okay.
So he's navigating this complex cultural identity.
Yeah.
But also, like, standing out in his environment.
Yeah.
It's no wonder that he gravitated towards other second-generation kids, regardless of their background, because they understood that feeling of kind of, like, straddling different worlds.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how those early experiences, like, shaped his outlook on life and his career aspirations.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, he was a huge basketball fan growing up.
He was.
Right. Even dreamed of playing professionally.
He did. He idolized Kobe Bryant.
Of course, yeah.
And Seattle has such a, you know, a rich basketball history.
Right.
So it makes sense that he was drawn to the sport. But I think what's remarkable is his self-awareness.
Yeah.
He realized at some point
that
his dream of playing in the NBA, like, it wasn't going to pan out.
Right.
You know, he wasn't built for that level, and he was honest with himself about it.
That's a tough realization.
It is.
For anyone, especially at a young age.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But instead of getting discouraged, he found a different way to channel his passion for the game. Sports journalism.
Okay.
He saw it as an avenue to stay connected to the sports he loved.
Right.
But also, like, explore this new passion for storytelling.
Okay, so he went from wanting to be Kobe Bryant to wanting to tell Kobe Bryant's story. That's awesome. That's so cool.
It is.
Did he touch on how he actually got started?
He did.
In the field at all?
Yeah, so he actually began broadcasting while he was in college.
Oh, wow.
Doing color commentary for a Division III school.
Wow.
Which is, you know.
That's great.
It's a great example of how you can gain experience and build your skills.
Yeah.
Even if it's not at the, like, you know, the most glamorous level. It's about getting your reps in.
Totally. Yeah. And you've got to be hungry for it.
You do.
You've got to be willing to put yourself out there.
Absolutely.
Did he mention any mentors or people who helped him along the way?
Yeah, he credits his friend Malika Andrews from ESPN with kind of recognizing his talent early on. She saw his passion for journalism and really encouraged him to pursue it.
Yeah.
You know, seriously.
Having someone believe in you like that can make all the difference.
It can.
Yeah, but even with a mentor in his corner, it sounds like Ben was a real go-getter.
Oh, absolutely. Like, this is where his drive and dedication really come through.
Yeah.
He didn't just, like, you know, sit back and wait for opportunities to come to him.
Right.
He was proactive. He was taking on internships.
Yeah.
Like, he interned at a CBS affiliate.
Okay.
And then he scored a coveted spot in the prestigious Sports Journalism Institute.
Oh, wow. That program's super competitive, right?
Very.
I remember reading they only select a handful of students, like nationwide each year.
Yeah, and it's specifically designed to help women and minorities break into the newsroom.
Wow.
Which is still a challenge today.
Yeah.
The fact that he not only got into the program, but he also landed a summer internship at the Denver Post as a result.
Wow.
speaks volumes about his talent and determination.
Talk about a resume builder.
Right.
But it sounds like he learned a valuable lesson beyond just building his resume during those early experiences.
Absolutely. He emphasized that it's not just about internships and qualifications.
Right.
Building genuine relationships in the journalism world is equally important.
He's got a point. Networking is key.
It is.
In almost every field, but especially in media, I would say.
Right. And he shared this great anecdote about how just connecting with a local play-by-play announcer opened all these doors for him.
Wow.
They just hit it off. And that relationship, snowballed into other opportunities that he might not have had access to.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That just highlights how sometimes it's not just about what you know, it's about who you know.
It is.
Or maybe more importantly, who knows you.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it really underscores how important it is to build those authentic connections. You never know where they might lead, but it's not just about schmoozing and, collecting business cards. Ben really stressed that authenticity thing.
Yeah, he was very clear about that.
Yeah.
He talked about, the importance of being genuinely interested in people. Like adding value to the relationship.
Right.
He approached that connection with the play-by-play announcer not as a stepping stone, but as a chance to
learn.
Yeah, to learn from someone with experience.
Totally. And that probably makes a big difference. People can spot a phony a mile away.
Absolutely.
But when you genuinely want to learn and connect, it shows. So with that strong foundation of internships and networking, he landed a gig covering the Tennessee Titans for the Tennessean.
He did.
I'm curious, did he give any insights into what that experience was like at all?
Yeah, he talked about the grind of being a beat reporter.
Okay.
The long hours.
Right.
The constant pressure to break news, the unpredictable schedule.
Yeah.
He even mentioned a story he wrote about NFL star Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Where he traveled to Henry's hometown of Yulee, Florida.
Okay, so he's going deep into the heart of where Henry grew up. Did he have any good stories about, getting the inside scoop?
It's interesting. He didn't even interview Henry directly.
What?
For that piece.
Wow.
Instead, he focused on capturing, the essence of the environment that shaped him as an athlete.
Okay.
So he interviewed, Henry's childhood friends, former coaches, even his teachers.
Wow, that's a really unique approach. It's he's trying to understand the forces that molded Henry into the powerhouse player he is today. It kind of reminds me of that old saying, it takes a village.
Exactly, and it speaks to Ben's ability to kind of see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
To tell a story that goes beyond just the surface level.
Right.
He's not just reporting on scores and stats. He's trying to understand the human element behind the game.
Totally. And I bet that perspective resonates with readers, especially in today's media landscape. Everyone's looking for those authentic behind-the-scenes stories. But that kind of dedication, that drive to dig deeper, it reminded me of something else that Ben mentioned. That chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, that inner fire.
Yeah.
That relentless desire to prove himself.
Right.
He even connected it back to his mother's adage.
Okay.
Being black, you have to work twice as hard to get half as far.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder of kind of, the systemic challenges that he faces.
Right.
And how he uses those experiences as fuel to succeed.
It's like he's internalized those challenges and turned them into this incredible work ethic, this refusal to be outworked. He's got that athlete's mentality.
He does.
But he's applying it to the world of journalism.
It's that same drive that led him to Fox Sports.
Right.
Where he's currently working. But what struck me is that he's not content with just resting on his laurels.
Oh, no. Ben's always playing for that next contract, right?
Exactly. He's thinking long-term.
Yeah.
Strategically.
Yeah.
Just like an athlete planning their next move.
Right.
And part of that strategy involves building his own media company, Pinnacle Code.
That's right. He's building something on his own terms. Something that reflects his unique perspective and experiences.
Yes.
It's not just a side hustle. Wow. It's an extension of his personal brand.
Exactly. And it's smart.
Yeah.
He's creating content that aligns with his interests and his passions.
Right.
And he's building a platform that he owns and controls.
Right.
Which is a savvy move in today's media landscape, where having a strong personal brand can be incredibly valuable.
It's like he's taking all the lessons he's learned from his journey, the hustle, the importance of relationships, the power of authenticity, and pouring them into this new venture.
It's actually quite inspiring to see how he's connecting the dots.
Right.
He's not just building a career.
Right.
He's building a legacy.
Yeah.
He's creating something that will, like, outlast his time at any one company or network.
It makes you wonder, what would be possible if we all approached our goals with that level of intentionality and dedication? What could we achieve if we weren't afraid to, like, bet on ourselves and build something of our own?
Right.
It's like he's saying, you know, why wait for permission to create something amazing? He's got that, like, entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
That willingness to take risks and bet on himself. But he's also not trying to do it alone.
Right.
He emphasized the importance of relationships throughout, like, the entire interview.
He did, and not just in terms of, like, networking or career advancement.
Right.
He talked about, you know, the value of mentors.
Right.
The importance of surrounding yourself with people who inspire you and challenge you to grow.
Totally. Yeah, it's that idea of iron sharpens iron, right?
Yes.
You need those people in your corner who will push you to be your best self.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, did he mention any specific examples of how mentors have shaped his journey?
Yeah, he talked about how Malika Andrews, his friend from ESPN, has been a constant source of support and encouragement for him.
Okay.
But he also emphasized that, you know, mentors don't have to be people that you're, like, close to or that you've even met.
Yeah, I've heard that called mentorship at a distance.
Yes.
Like, you can learn and draw inspiration from people you admire, even if you've never met them face to face.
Totally. And he gave a great example of that.
Okay.
He talked about how he studied the career trajectories of successful journalists he admired. So people like Grant Wall, Jameel Hill. He learned from their successes, but also from, like, their challenges and their setbacks.
That's a really insightful point.
It is.
We often focus on the highlight reels of success, but it's those moments of struggle. Those times when someone, like, stumbles and gets back up.
Yes.
That can be even more instructive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He also highlighted how important it is to have people in your life who understand the specific challenges that you face.
Right.
You know, he talked about the importance of connecting with other Black journalists who understand kind of the unique pressures and expectations that come with, you know, navigating a predominantly white industry.
It's about finding your tribe, those people who get it, who can offer support and guidance based on their own lived experiences. It sounds like Ben's really intentional about building that network of support.
He is.
Both personally and professionally.
And it's clearly paying off.
Yeah.
You know, he's built this impressive career at Fox Sports. He's building his own media company. He's doing it all while staying true to himself and his values.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that success isn't just about what you achieve.
Right.
It's about how you achieve it.
Absolutely.
It's about the journey, the people you bring along with you.
Yes.
The impact you have on the world around you.
And that's what makes Ben Arthur's story so inspiring.
Yeah.
He's not just chasing success for himself.
Right.
He's using his platform to, like, uplift others, to tell stories that matter, to create something that will hopefully inspire, you know, the next generation of journalists and storytellers.
It makes you want to stand up and cheer, doesn't it?
It does.
Ben's story is a reminder that we all have the potential to create something meaningful, to carve out our own path.
And to leave the world a little brighter.
Absolutely.
Than we found it.
And sometimes all it takes is hearing someone else's story.
Yeah.
To kind of, like, ignite that spark within ourselves.
Love it. Well said.